Hey guys, in today's guide we're going to be covering Amumu, the Sad Mummy. Amumu is a tanky burst mage and is usually played as a jungler because of his good clear, crowd control, and potent ganks. Amumu can be played as AP or tank, or a mix of both. He has high burst damage potential if he can hit multiple targets with his strong AoE spells. His role in teamfights is to engage, control, and burst the enemy team. Let's get right into his skills and passive. Amumu's passive causes his auto attacks to reduce his target's magic resist for a short duration. This allows him to do more damage to jungle monsters and also do more damage late game. Amumu's Q throws a bandage to his target location. If it hits an enemy, they will be stunned and Amumu will pull himself to the enemy. This is Amumu's primary initiation skill. Amumu's W is a toggle that does AoE damage to nearby enemies. His W does percentage health damage and can be incredibly effective late game if enemies stay within its range. Amumu's E allows him to passively take less damage from auto attacks. If Amumu activates the skill, he will do AoE damage to nearby targets. This is Amumu's main damage spell. The cooldown of the skill is also reduced by half a second each time he is hit by an auto attack. Amumu's ult does damage and entangles all enemies within range. While entangled, enemies are unable to attack or move. His ult can be a game-changing and incredibly strong AoE burst and initiation skill. As Jungle Amumu, max E first to reduce the amount of damage jungle monsters do to you and also to increase your AoE burst damage. This will allow you to clear the jungle faster and take less damage in the process. Max Q second to maximize your burst potential and to reduce the cooldown of the skill so you can stun more often. Make sure to go EWQ at levels 1, 2, 3 so that you have good jungle clear and your initiation and stun for ganks at level 3. Your W is more of a late game oriented skill, so go ahead and max it last. A good Amumu build should look something like this. This build focuses on magic pen, a little bit of AP, gold generation through your jungle item, and a lot of resistances to make you tanky and survive through teamfights. For Masteries, I suggest 21 defense and 9 utility. This gives you enough defense to initiate and survive teamfights while also giving you the extra health and mana regen, cooldown reduction, and increased buff duration from the utility tree. For runes, I suggest taking 9 magic penetration marks, 9 armor seals, 9 magic resist glyphs, and 3 AP quints. For jungle Amumu, I recommend taking Flash and Smite. Flash is incredibly useful for initiating and escaping, and Smite is required to jungle effectively. If you are playing lane Amumu, take Flash and Teleport for map presence and pressure, or take Flash and Ignite for lane pressure and kill opportunity. As jungle Amumu, you have some counters in the early game. Some of your early counters are Evelynn, Jarvan, Lee Sin, Nunu, Xin Zhao, and Pantheon. Lee Sin, Jarvan, Xin Zhao, and Pantheon can all outtrade you in the early levels. Their damage and ganks will be better than yours, along with their 2v2 potential. Try not to 1v1 these junglers as they will crush you in the early levels. Once you start hitting teamfights, you will outperform them. Make sure to have a passive playstyle in these matchups. Evelynn can out-farm and out-gank you early on. Make sure you are applying pressure to your lanes and getting as much CS as you can. You will start to outperform Evelynn around level 6. As the game goes on, you will become stronger than her in teamfights. Play passive and don't get caught in your jungle early on. Nunu is just a pain. He will farm much faster than you and can counter jungle you with ease due to his smite and consume combo. Make sure to ward up and communicate with your team so you can stop him from destroying your jungle. Play passive against a Nunu and make sure that you pick your fights well. He excels at getting in and out of fights quickly with his Blood Bolt and Q slows. Amumu's role during laning phase is to get both his buffs and hit level 3 and start looking to gank top or mid. As a jungler, Amumu is there to help gank lanes while also farming the jungle to get CS, experience, and gold. If you can land your Q skill shot when you gank, you will probably force the enemy to burn their summoners or even kill them during the early levels. Make sure you don't tower dive and be careful of the enemy jungler. Amumu's early game 1v1 and 2v2 strength is not very strong. Amumu's goal in teamfights is to look for chances to land his Q on enemy priority targets and initiate fights. If you can land a good Q, make sure your team is following you up and then ult. Your goal is to ult as many people as you can. Amumu's ult is incredibly powerful and allows him to CC multiple enemies at once so his team can follow up and kill them. Make sure that you don't tower dive early on as you won't have the HP to survive multiple tower hits along with damage from the enemy. Here are some useful tips for Amumu. Thanks for watching my Amumu guide. If you found this video helpful, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so you can stay up to date on all my guides, coaching, and other League related videos.